29 minutes on to 7 o'clock. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, PD, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's Tuesday, the 25th day of February, 2025. Of course, yes, truly so happy to be with you once again. You know what? This song, I'll be singing this song convincingly rather soon. My saucer will be overflown. How about you? Grenada, it's a good day to have a good day. Wake up, shake up, and live. Yeah. Never ever let the problems of life get you down, so down that you can't see up. Because it is often said, when you're laying flat on your back, the only place you can see is up, right? Rhino, good morning to you, my brethren up there in Apretut. How are you doing, you and the family? To your mom, big celebration coming on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to all those of you who woke up this morning. You woke up, you got up, you do the things that you normally do, but you're just feeling down, you're feeling oppressed, you're feeling depressed. What can you do? Go to God in prayer. That's what we do. He's the battle fighter. Yeah. And if you're feeling the opposite of that, you're up and you're joyous, you're jubilating, you know, and you know someone who is going through something, reach out to them.
I'm here to encourage you today. Not to
be somebody's keeper today.
I pronounce a blessing.
Share your smile with someone.
On your family.
Yeah, pray for somebody today.
Help in the name of Jesus. I believe.
Yeah. Good morning to all the various parishes. St. George, St. David, St. Andrew, St. Patrick, St. Mark, St. John, Carriacou, PD Martinique. Good morning. Special good morning to the folks at Carriacou and PD Martinique. Your carnival is coming up. Well, you know, there are those who might be arguing, why carnival? And you're still in the rebuilding process. Well, you need to rebuild your psyche as well, yeah? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and Jill even duller. As my uncle said at one point, you know, everybody needs an avenue to let off some steam at some time. Free yourself up, free your mind. If that's your avenue for doing that, well, do it. So those of you out there in the diaspora, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Rolanda, you know, Bola. You all right? Adorna Joseph Alexis says good morning. Rico Andrew is up, good morning. Catherine Phillip, good morning. Doris Fletcher. Veronica Sandy, Yulin is with us. Yulin, good morning. You're back in the caller here. Can't believe you're coming good enough. You can come look for us in GBN, huh? Jillian McIntyre is here, Michelle Bernard, and Mary E. Bangs. These are the folks with us so early. My cup has overflowed. I'm yet to see Mildred Smith. Mildred, good morning. Good morning, Mildred. Someone is knocking at your door. I am knocking. Hope you're having a good morning thus far, you and Shem. Yeah, I hope you're doing fine. And that makes me rich. Good morning to all the farmers and fisher folks of the nation, those of you involved in the fishing industry. If you're going out to sea, ensure that you have all the prerequisites, all the equipment. And the mercies. In case you run into problems out there, you can be contacted or you can contact someone. I'm drinking from to all the fish vendors, good morning to you. All the vendors in general, good morning. To all the security officers, police officers, good morning. Good morning to the nurses. Good morning, those of you, Nurse Maxwin in the maternity ward. Good morning to you and your team. Nurse Pierre, Nurse Selwyn Charles, those of you in the ICU. Good morning, Dr. Donald Noel. and family.
Health in the name.
It's always locked in, man. Good morning, Dr. Bernard. Good morning. I'm hearing great things, bro.
Oh Lord, help me not
You and the family, good morning.
and complain
Dr. Devon Globe Francis.
of the tough road.
Dr. Keith Johnson, good morning, bro. Dr. Baptiste,
I'm drinking
I hope you all are doing fine. All the doctors, I don't know all of them. Dr. Francis Martin, good morning. Let me not get there. All the pharmacists, good morning.
and if I
Folks, it's 24 minutes onto the hour for 7 o'clock.
should live should the way get steep and rough,
Yolanda Swan, good morning.
may I
The folks in Upper St. John, good morning, good morning, good morning.
glory
The folks in Ford,
summer
good morning. Telescope, good morning. Granbra, St. Cloud,
may I never
Sab.
get too busy.
Good morning to the folks at Brothers Shop and Sab, good morning. Maribor, Bylands,
Very slow
Kenny Gilbert, Oslin Gilbert, the Gilbert and the Beggs families.
drinking from
Good morning to Dawn Lett in Providence. Good morning to you. This, you see, I remember the surname right this time, okay? Good morning to you and the entire household.
yes,
Providence, good morning to you.
my song
The bassman and his family.
from
Big J, good morning to you and the family.
my compass,
Dudma,
Lord,
Windsor Forest, Vincent's.
my compass.
The folks at the Donkey Stable. Papi, what going on? Yeah, I wish that your saucer runs over today. Yeah. Wish your cup and your saucer, everything overflows, man. Good morning, good morning. Yulin,
Holy Spirit, take my soul.
22 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. Let's see what's the word of the day today.
Holy Spirit, take
That word today is taciturn. 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 Let's get it up. Let's get it up. Let's get it up. Mr. Jim Alexander, good morning to you, former principal of McDonald College. How are you doing, Chief? And taciturn means reserved or uncommunicative. Reserved or uncommunicative. Taciturn. Do you know anyone like that?
Let your Holy Ghost fill my soul.
Yeah, they like to be to themselves. All right, it says here in a sentence, the taciturn man rarely joined group discussions. Love to be self-centered. Beaton, good morning, La Femme. Boyo. Yeah. Powder Boy and family, good morning. My partner Crab. You good? Nice.
My God is, my God is, my God is, my God is.
Nakita, how you doing?
Holy to
Tanti. Shirin.
my God is, my God is, my
Anaya.
God is. Holy to
Azaria. Carla, good morning to you and the household.
land. God
Nice. Ken Star.
was in my heart.
All right, good morning, Nadisha and the folks in Cafe. It's your turn. This is your time. The motivational tip of the day. Let's see what it is. Create a vision board. Visual reminders of your dreams and goals keep your vision alive. Build a board that inspires you to take action. Create a visual board. Write it down. You had a dream last night. You wake up, you write it down because sometimes you forget. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you ensure that you write it down and look at it consistently. Keeps you motivated. Nice.
Holy Spirit, take my soul.
Petlin and the folks. Hey, Petlin, hold that firing for me. I'm longing for a firing porridge. Yeah. Woman, good morning, Miss Wally. Lataston River Sally. Gail Menard in Belle Carriaco. Jude and the guys. Mr. Patrick Kajo, how you doing? How is Risha? Risha, you alright? Nice. Corinth, good morning. The folks in the Mohai. Kelisha and family. Babash. Nutsman, good morning. How you doing, bro? I had to check you, I had to check you. We have some business to sort out, right? Nice. Lassa Jess, Coles Gap, Marty, Content, Belial, Tebaid, Aptitude, Bellevue, Rukane, Barbara, good morning. I hope you got that pastry yesterday. Nice. Let's see what's buzzing. What's buzzing this morning. All right, CARICOM region faces a 20% decline in U.S. egg production, which led to a 70% price hike. Egg scarce. Yeah, and that's really true, because even when I was in New York last month, eggs were really scarce up there. Having said that, good morning to Reverend Samuel Caesar and the folks in East Flatbush, Crossroads Radio, Mr. Legs and Randall and family, Joe Bailey, they're all locked on, man. Canada, good morning, the UK, in the region. All right, continuing what's buzzing, SGU awarded full institutional accreditation for 5 years. Good news. Striving towards excellence. Colin Dow, good morning to you and your team at SGU. Good morning, Naomi. Yeah, she's in the veterinary division and livestock. Dr. Winchester, good morning to you. In the region, police promised full investigation after 3 people were killed and a 6-year-old boy injured when gunmen barged into a house and opened fire in Trinidad. Internationally, French President meets Donald Trump at the White House amidst concerns in Europe over U.S. relations and support for Ukraine. And in sports, the Virgin Parish, St. David to make its debut in GFA Premier League. Of course, we'll have details to these and more coming up in the news. Michael Douglas, good morning. Andy Forrester at A&R Spices in Brooklyn, New York. He says, morning, Grenada. How do you do? Spice Quinn. What's up? You good? Have you had your juice yet? Or you're having some tea? Good morning to Tammy and the folks at the Bayleaf Tea Company. Nice. Folks, the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather comes up next. My God is
Grenada National Folk Group, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture, proudly presents Iconic Moves and Melodies.
Yes, man!
Iconic Moves and Melodies. A heartfelt tribute to the legendary Miss Shirley Robinson. Mark your calendar. Saturday, March 1st, 2025 at the Grenada Trade Center, starting at 5 p.m. Immerse yourself in an evening of vibrant folk songs, classical songs, Negro spirituals, patriotic songs, captivating poetry, and mesmerizing dance performances as we honor Miss Shirley Robinson, a true pioneer of Grenada's cultural heritage. You'll also get the chance to have a meet and greet with Miss Shirley Robinson. Tickets are just $50 for adults and $25 for children. Iconic moves and melodies, a celebration you don't want to miss. Join us Saturday, March 1st at the Grenada Trade Center. Let's honor the legacy, celebrate the culture, and make it a night to remember.
One stage, full categories, 80 incredible dance talents. Experience the rhythms of the world as dancers bring culture to life with breathtaking performances. Who will take away the crown? Witness the passion, the energy, the artistry. Don't miss the ultimate global dance competition around the world in 80 dance talents. Call 407-8458 to register your group or solo act. Follow at GBN for updates.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Coming up in the news, CARICOM region faces a 20% decline in U.S. egg production, leading to a 70% rise in price. SGU awarded full institutional accreditation for 5 years. In the region, police promised full investigation after 3 people were killed and a 6-year-old boy injured when gunmen barged into a house and opened fire in Trinidad. Internationally, French President meets Donald Trump at the White House amid concerns in Europe over relations with the U.S. as it relates to support for Ukraine. And in sports, St. David to make its debut in the GFA Premier League. We've got the details to this and more after these messages.
Unlocking opportunities, Excel leads the way in digital advancement every single day. Fair internet access for all to share. Transparent billing with consumer care. Excel 3AC bill safeguarding our rights. Net neutrality, consumer protection shining bright. Mobile number portability available to you. Switch providers seamlessly. Keep the number true. Excel 3AC bill promoting fair play in the digital world. Every single day, affordable services are important for all. Through the EC bill, there'll be progress overall. Excel and the NTRCs connecting our communities.
Excel and the NTRCs digitally transforming our space together.
Good morning, Gordon Josephine with the details. Guyanese President Irfan Ali warned of escalating food security issues in the CARICOM region due to rising global food prices and increase in logistics costs. We have more on this.
2024 would have seen major impact in the region as food prices for cereals, meat, dairy, vegetable oil, and raw sugar increase significantly on the global market. Of course, we import those increases, we import those inflation, and we have to manage within that context. However, 2025 is adding a lot of worry to the situation. The increased climate-related challenges, increased transportation and logistics costs, uncertainty in tariffs and rules, trade rules, would have a significant impact on the costs of food globally and here within our region.
A continuous bird flu outbreak is adding to the food security issue. The region faces a 20% decline in U.S. egg supply, leading to a 70% price hike, adding further strain.
Bird flu, as we know it, was first reported around March 2022. As I speak to you now, the current situation as a result of bird flu is alarming. There's a 20% decline in egg production from the US, and you would know that we source most of our hatching eggs out of the US. We source table eggs also. Many of the countries source table eggs out of the US. For a matter of fact, in some regions, when you look at the year-on-year increase in the cost of eggs since the first reported case of bird flu, it is 70% increase. When you look at egg prices as of January this year in the US, there's a 15% increase.
In response, CARICOM is exploring alternative supply routes and strategies to enhance regional capacity against a potential major shock in the global market.
We are discussing the impact of these challenges for the region, and important for us is to look at the full supply chain, to look at alternative supply routes, and to look at ways in which we can enhance and integrate our capacity and capability to withstand what could be a major shock in the global market.
That was Guyanese President Irfan Ali speaking at a press conference at the closing of the 48th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Police are still seeking the assistance of the public in locating Georgina Greenidge, 29 years old, of Mount Rush in St. George, who resided at Loreto in St. John. Ms. Greenidge was last seen on Tuesday, 21st January 2025 at Manny in Loreto in St. John, wearing a green short pants and white vest. She's approximately 5 feet 2 inches in height, slim built, brown skin in complexion, has a straight nose, a mole on her face with a short dreadlocks here. Anyone seeing Georgina or has any information about her whereabouts is kindly asked to contact her brother Michael Thomas via WhatsApp at 410-6517, the Criminal Investigation Department at 440-3921, the Guelph Police Station at 405-3962, Police Emergency at 911, Police Hotline at 444-1958, or the nearest police station. As of March 1st, 2025, the life of the reconstituted Pesticides Control Board, established per the Pesticides Control Act, will officially start, and the members will hold their positions for 2 years. A notice in the latest Government Gazette publication said Cabinet at its meeting of the 3rd February 2025 approved the appointment of the Pesticides Control Board effective 1st March for a period of 2 years. Members of the board are as follows: Mr. Francis Noel, Pest Management Officer; Mr. Erwin Henry, Chief Analytical Chemist; Miss Alison Haynes, Chief Agronomist; Miss Lauren St. Louis, Chief Extension Officer; and Dr. Sean Charles, Chief Medical Officer. The Pesticides Control Act controls the importation, sale, storage, and use of pesticides and for connected matters. The board advises the minister on matters relevant to the making of regulations and to carry out the provisions of this act and its regulations. Originally approved in 1973 and amended in 1979, the legislation outlines the membership of the board and its chairman. It says the board shall elect a chairman from amongst the members from the Ministry of Agriculture, and he or she shall have both an original and a casting vote. The quorum to conduct business by the board is 5. The legislation mandates that the minister assign inspectors to assist the board in its duties. The board may, with the approval of the minister, appoint at such remuneration and on such terms as it shall determine a secretary and any other officers and employees it deems to be necessary for the proper performance of its duties. According to the legislation, inspectors must ensure that every container in which a pesticide is distributed, exposed, or offered for sale has an approved label clearly and prominently in English with information for the consumer. The information includes the trade or propriety name of the pesticide and also name and address of the distributor or manufacturer, a common name of the active ingredient and its percentage content, net contents by weight or volume of the container, precautions to be observed in the handling and use of the contents of the container also. The label must also show adequate directions approved by the board respecting pesticides application and specific information on the interval between applying the pesticide and animal grazing, harvesting crops, and slaughtering. And finally, the St. George's University has been awarded full institutional accreditation for a period of 5 years. This announcement came from the Grenada National Accreditation Board, the GNAB. The GNAB said this accreditation is a testament to SGU's commitment to academic excellence, quality assurance, and continuous improvement. It reflects the institution's adherence to the highest educational standards, ensuring a quality learning environment for students. GNAB issued congratulations to SU on this significant achievement. That concludes the first segment of news. Stay with us. The regional and international news, along with the sports and weather, they are straight ahead. In the region, police promised full investigation after 3 people were killed and a 6-year-old boy injured when gunmen barged into a house in Trinidad and Tobago and opened fire. This we hear in this OCM News Network report.
We begin in Trinidad and Tobago, where a man is chopped to death in the second city of San Fernando. He has been identified as Zaid Mohammed, and reports are saying that at the corner of Pond Street and Dumfries Road last evening, residents heard a vehicle screeching. When they investigated, Mr. Mohammed was found. It appears he was chopped and thrown from a moving vehicle. There were several stab and chop wounds about his body. Residents called the police and Mr. Mohammed was taken to hospital where he died. And the body of a man is found in Penal in South Trinidad. That man has been identified as Lucky Jagdeo. He is also known as Pam. Reports are telling us the incident took place at San Francisco Road last evening. And police in Trinidad and Tobago are giving the assurance that no stone will be left unturned while investigating the killing of 3 adults and the wounding of a 6-year-old boy in the eastern borough of Arima. A probe into the circumstances surrounding the murder has started. The victims are Ansel James, his sister, 47-year-old Anicia James, and Anicia's common-law husband, 30-year-old Mitchell Francois. The 6-year-old boy was one of Anicia James's 4 children. Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, Kurt Simon, is promising to solve the deadly attack.
And of course, it is with great sadness that we bring even this news to you, our general public. And we know of the concerns that our public have in the midst of this SOE, and we are still having these shootings and these murders. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service have come down on this area this morning in great numbers to show that we are not about to take these murders without reacting to them in a positive way.
He also wants the continued help of members.
Looking further afield, Emmanuel Macron has said Europe wants to secure a lasting peace in Ukraine as the French president met with United States President Donald Trump at the White House on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion. Speaking alongside Trump in the Oval Office on Monday, Macron said the common objective was to build a solid and long-standing peace in the war-torn country. We have more in this report.
The scene in the Oval Office was astonishing. President Trump insisting Volodymyr Zelensky will head to Washington soon to sign over some of his mineral wealth to the United States.
He may come in this week or next week to sign the agreement.
But then President Macron hit back, insisting Ukraine must be compensated before the US or Europe and by Russia.
All of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
It was the starkest possible indication of the gulf between the US and its former European allies.
And finally, a Hamas official has accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of intentionally sabotaging the Gaza ceasefire deal after Israel postponed the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. In an interview with Al Jazeera on Monday, Bassem Naim said Hamas would not engage in further ceasefire talks until Israel releases the 620 Palestinian prisoners who were meant to be freed on Saturday. Israel said on Sunday it was delaying the release of more than 600 Palestinians in return for 6 living and 4 dead hostages who had been freed, accusing Hamas of repeated violations, including humiliating handover ceremonies. A senior Hamas official said the decision exposed the entire agreement to grave danger and called on mediators, especially the U.S., to pressure Israel. That's the news. Stay with us. The weather forecast is up next. Not the weather forecast, rather the sporting highlights are up next. Good morning, sporting fans. The parish of St. David is full of excitement as the St. David's FC prepares for its first ever season in the Grenada Football Association, the GFA Premier League. After a remarkable performance last season, the team finished with 48 points, surpassing North Stars, who ended the season with 45 points to secure promotion. The St. David's FC has faced challenges in finding a home ground, but hopes are high that Lassaget's playing field will serve as the official venue for matches this season. The team's management is optimistic that having a dedicated home ground will provide the players with a supportive environment and help boost the performance on the field. The upcoming season promises to be exciting for the parish as fans rally behind their local club. With the right support and a solid home ground, St. David's FC aims to make a strong impression in the Premier League and establish itself as a formidable contender in Grenada's football. Meanwhile, North Stars Football Club will make its return to the GFA Premier League after a remarkable 35-year absence. The club, which was formed in 1972, first took to the field in the nation's top league in 1989, competing against the best teams in Grenada. After a strong performance in 2024 Division 1, North Stars finished the season in second place with a total of 43 points, just behind St. David's FC, who topped the division with 48. This successful season has paved the way for North Stars to reclaim their spot among the elite in Grenadian football. And finally, the region's best women's cricketers are set to compete in the CG United Women's Super 50 Cup, which began yesterday and runs up until March 7th in St. Kitts. The 6 regional franchises have named their squads to compete in 5 rounds and a final in the 12-day tournament. Defending champions Jamaica will bowled off their champion campaign against Trinidad and Tobago at Warner Park. The CG United Women's Super 50 Cup continues to serve as a vital platform for the next generation of West Indies cricketers, providing emerging talent with the opportunity to showcase their skills on a competitive stage. With senior international players Hayley Matthews, Deandra Dottin and Chanel Henry unavailable, this year's tournament presents a unique chance for emerging talent to step up, gain valuable experience, and stake their claim for future regional and international selection. Many of today's West Indies stars first made their mark in this competition, and with the added exposure of live broadcasts, this edition promises to unearth the next wave of Caribbean cricketing talent. For the first time, the entire women's tournament will be broadcast live on ESPN Caribbean, bringing the action to fans across the region. All preliminary round matches and the final at Warner Park will be televised, marking a historic milestone for women's cricket in the Caribbean. This year, the teams will be vying for a championship prize of US $30,000, with the runners-up securing $15,000. That's the sports. At this time, we'll have more sports for you during a luncheon edition. Stay with us. The weather forecast is up next. And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Cassia Johnson at the forecast desk at the Morris Bishop International Airport. Good morning, Cassia.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners. Here is the weather for today, Tuesday, 25th February, 2025. Currently at the airport, conditions are partly cloudy. Winds are from the east-southeast at 13 miles per hour. Pressure 1014.1 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature 26.7 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 82%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.3 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature last night 26.2 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was 0.5 millimeters of rainfall at the airport, which brings the total for the month to 36.6 millimeters. Looking at the public forecast valid for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be generally fair, breezy, and slightly hazy, with few brief isolated showers. Today's maximum temperature 30.0 degrees Celsius. Winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 13 to 23 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves 5 to 7 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Tides are currently rising and will be high at 1 p.m., low at 8:30 p.m. Sunset today 6:16, sunrise tomorrow 6:24. Again, the weather is expected to be generally fair, breezy, and slightly hazy, with few brief isolated showers. A small craft advisory remains in effect. From the Met Office, I am Cassia Johnson.
Thank you very much, Cassia. Have yourself a wonderful day now.
Thank you, thank you.
Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited.
Get value
value you'll love only at Quartz. With huge savings on select mattresses, mobile phones, and TVs. You'll also love our new arrivals in furniture and appliances. Plus, when you shop, get a chance to win great prizes. So come in, shop today, and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Get value you'll love only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Offer ends February 24, 2025. See store for details.
It's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. To end the news, a recap of the headlines. CARICOM region faces a 20% decline in supply from the U.S. That's an egg. And it led to a 70% price increase. SU awarded institutional accreditation for 5 years. In the region, police promised full investigation after 3 people were killed and a 6-year-old boy injured when gunmen barged into a house and opened fire in Trinidad. Internationally, French President Macron meets with Donald Trump at the White House amid concerns in Europe over U.S. relations and support for Ukraine. And in sport, St. David, Virgin Parish, to make its debut in GFA Premier League. Yeah. Top. What was Wasway's song again? Top strikers, yes, top strikers. Folks, that culminates this morning's edition of news for today, Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day, and extending the invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Right Choice Promotions in association with Investment Migration Agency of Grenada, together with Ariza Credit Union, presents the inaugural Virgin Parish Relay Meet. This is the real mini Olympics, Saturday, March 8th. Lassa Just Playing Field in St. David. Relay action featuring the top clubs and schools from across Grenada, competing for cash prizes and more. Come see the nation's best athletes as they prepare for Intercall and Carifta Games 2025. First call to action is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, featuring live entertainment and excitement in the tug-of-war competition. Admission $10 adults, $5 children. Come to Virgin Parish, St. David on Saturday, March 8th for the Virgin Parish Relay Meet. Come share in the excitement and speed and see you there.
Attention all track and field fans, the race is on and history is being made. On Saturday, March 1st, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium comes alive yet again for the Charlie George Classic. We honor a true stalwart of Grenadian athletics, Mr. Charles A.R. George, the longest serving president of the Grenada Athletics Association. Watch the best of the best go head to head in sprints, distance races, field events, and thrilling relays with top clubs like 473 MVP, Ace, Fusion Athletics, Velocity Track Club, St. David's Track Blazers, and more. The excitement kicks off at 10 a.m., so be there early. Witness the speed, the strength, and the passion of Grenada's finest athletes. This is more than a meet. It's a legacy in motion. The Charlie George Classic, Saturday, March 1st. Be there.
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. This is an invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. IMA Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
Attention Grenadians, get ready for an exciting weekend of empowerment and inspiration under the theme Accelerating a Transformed NDC. Delegates, party members, and special invitees will partake in the NDC Convention 2025, Sunday, March 2nd at the Happy Hill Secondary School. After the convention, everyone is invited to our sensational rally at the Bushes U playing field starting at 4 p.m. Be inspired by our distinguished guests. Hear from Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt of Dominica, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of St. Lucia, and our very own political leader and Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, and more. Organize your transportation and walk with your flags, bandanas, drums, shells, whistles, and head down to Bushes U to be part of the transformation.
Cause I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the conversation. It's 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and as promised yesterday, I told you this morning we'll be having MP for the town of St. George, the Honorable Peter David. He's here with us. Before I start the conversation, though, I want to reach out and say happy birthday to Deacon of Mondelez and Old Mondelez or Old Wester Hall. He's celebrating his birthday sometime this week, and we've got greetings coming from all his family and friends in Old Wester Hall, also including his 10 children. Happy birthday. I don't know if it's today, but someone very prominent and important insisted that I send this out, so I am doing that. So it's a good time to say good morning, Honorable MP.
Morning, my dear brother. How are you today?
I am doing fine. And
great.
Yeah, I keep asking people that, you know. I know I have a fair idea as to what your work schedule and so forth is, but I try to figure out how you keep looking so young. What is it?
I don't know, my father's genes. My father lived to 97 and yeah, he had good genes. But no, I get up every day, go to work hard, and I sleep at night.
Okay.
And I sleep very well. I go to bed, and when I go to bed, Next thing I know is when I wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30. So.
All right, you're pressed for time, so we're cutting to the chase. How has Peter been post-convention with all this thing that happened, your eventual resignation from the NNP and so forth? And I don't want you to answer questions that I didn't ask you. Answer what I ask you, okay?
I'm fine. You know, it's my life's mission. I believe that all of us have things we want to do with our lives, and my life since I was 15, 16 years old at the GBSS in the student movement throughout my life, it's been for a cause I believe in. It's always been for a cause I believe in, and you know, there'd be detractors, there'd be people who like it, people who don't like it, people who make me their enemies and all of that. But you know, I keep focused on what I believe in, and I listen, and I believe that we can build a better country. So yes, I've been good since convention. It's part of the course, you know. I was in a party. The party decided I was a cancer in a party, so I decided on that night. It didn't make it didn't make sense anymore to just leave, and it's not as if I'm cursing anybody, upset with anybody. It's just the way life is, you know. You do a particular period, you do a particular thing, and then you move on, you know. And I've moved on, and I'm now on a different trajectory, but the same trajectory, different methods. I still believe in this country. I love this country deeply, and not me. I'm not claiming to be special in that. All of us love this country. I think if we could tap into that patriotism that is inside of all of us, we can build a better country. And as I've always been known for, I hate the tribalism, I hate the division, I hate the confusion. In fact, during the revolution, my nickname, if you speak to guys in the revolution, my name is, they call me Peace Man, and those of them listening would be smiling. That's what they call me, because that is what I believe in. I believe you can come together to build this country. So I'm fine. I'm just doing what I think needs to be done in that regard.
After the convention and so forth, has anyone from the new National Party reached out to Peter?
You mean anyone in leadership?
In leadership?
You know, no. I mean, I meet people every day who are members of the NNP who say, you know, it's unfortunate what happened. Some people say, oh, I wish you could have stayed, I wish you could have done that. But I say to them, would you allow your son or daughter to stay in what I consider to be a very toxic environment? Will you ask your daughter to stay in a marriage where the husband is calling her cancer in the house? You wouldn't ask your son and daughter to do that. So yes, but they understand, and as happened with the NDC, I have developed no enemies within the NNP, and I still consider them to be friends. I consider those who consider themselves to be my friend, and but no, the leadership has not. As they didn't do during the whole leadership convention. Nobody reached out and said, Peter, let's help, Peter, let's do this, Peter, let's resolve it. Nobody tried to mediate any solution. So I guess it means that they were happy with the result, happy with the outcome. In fact, one of them said during the whole period, you know, if Peter disagrees, let him go on for my own party. So, you know, I'm not upset with any of that. I just believe it's unfortunate. I believe it's not good for the country and the country's development, but it's part of the course, you know. Unless we pull this country together, unless we stop all the bickering and backbiting and fighting, our development will be retarded. So I continue on that path.
So the person from NNP that said, if Peter disagree, let him go and form a party, did you take that cue? Are you forming your own party?
I didn't take that cue from them. I'm going to take a cue from the people. We have been out there. We have been having meetings, discussions. I meet people every day. I meet with individuals. I meet with persons who are concerned just as much as I am. You know, the bad thing really is that politics has become such a tribal war that good people who want to keep their reputations and want to keep a life of a simple life, a decent life, they're afraid to get into politics, because as one politician told me, the first time he ever knew his mother was a prostitute is when he gets into politics. He was joking about it. You know? But I am trying to convince people that when that happens, when good people stay out of politics, then you end up in politics with people who are not so concerned with the country but their own interests. So we have to work. I mean, I know I am I am taking a lot of beating, and when people see that, they say, Peter, how can you take it? I take it because I believe. I believe. I really believe in what I'm doing. I'm not taking it because I love licks. I'm not masochistic. I take it because I believe that at the end of the day, at the end of my tenure, at the end of my period, I just wanted to be said that I did everything I can. And, people who I embraced months ago, people who called me their friend will now call me the enemy. People who came to me and was having decent conversations will now fear speaking to me. And I mean, what kind of society are we building when we do that? Where to disagree means that you have to be an enemy. No, we can have decent disagreement. So no, I am. Listen, I'm on the same path I've always been on, trying to find a way to pull it together. Now, I know it's difficult because the British gave us a trick, a system that is so divisive, but yet unable to change because you need a 2/3 majority of a referendum to change the arrangement that we have. So this division that we have is not accidental. It is by design. It is designed to keep us fighting each other, so that the powers that be enjoy the privileges that they have and the people. I mean, imagine 2 people in a yard, one green, one yellow, and they're fighting each other. They both can't send the kids to school. They both can't get health care. They both can't get transportation. They both, don't have a national health insurance. But that is how the system is get. So yes, I am on that path. I am on that path to tell this nation, because I do believe that unity is not just an idea. It's a development a pillar. If we pull that together, look at China. China, a country of billions of people. They have been developing rapidly. Millions of people taken out of poverty. There are 35 different ethnic groups in China, but they come together. Now, you may not like the method that is used, you may not like the political system, but the fact is, because they were able to keep China together, they have been able to develop, and now China is booming. I mean, you go to China, you see development all over the place. Look at Singapore. Similarly, you may not like the methods that Lee Kuan Yew used, because he used some fairly repressive methods at some point in the development of Singapore. It's now changed, but Singapore developed because they found a path that united the country around this path. Look at the revolution in Grenada during that period. I'm sure many of us many Grenadians don't like the methods that was used, the unconstitutional arrangements. We should have gone back to a constitutional arrangement pretty earlier, but we must accept that the airport was built, NIS, PTS, all of these things were done because the country came together behind a certain cause. So the methods, we could find ways. I think we need to find constitutional methods. I think we need to find a new path. I think our intellectuals need to come up with a system through which we can be more united while we have differences. And that is what I hope we can come up with. We've paid, during the revolution, we paid the price for the methods that were used. They were not methods that we will use today, but at the same time, it's not the method I'm talking about, it's the outcome. The outcome of us being united around a plan for the development. Because the truth is, I've been in the NMP, I've been in the NDC, and there is no difference between the people and the members of those parties. What we do is we give them the tribal call and we send them to fight each other while the leaders sipping champagne at the top together. The people are fighting each other. So I know they will come after me. I know that. I know they will send all the pit bulls after me, but I want them to know that it will not deter me, because I believe. I really do believe. So don't bother shout at me and call me traitor. Yesterday I went to drop my daughter at the school and the teacher came and said, there's a man walking down the road grumbling, look, Peter David, the traitor. That's what the politicians make them call me. He doesn't even know me and what I stand for, but he's told that once he's not wearing the tribal colors, he's the enemy. Regardless of if I'm fighting for his cause or not, I am the enemy. So
there are folks out there, that's a school of thought that Peter David is a power-hungry guy. because he didn't get the leadership of NDC. He jumped to NNP. He did not get leadership of NNP. Now we going and form his own party. What do you have to say to these people?
Absolute nonsense. People who know me, and that's the point it said, I've survived because there are people who actually know me. I never made a bid for leadership in the NDC. Nobody can provide any evidence of a bid I made in the NDC. Who ended up being the leader of the NDC eventually? Not me. I was expelled. I was expelled long before any issue of leadership in the NDC came. What I did in the NDC was stand up in the NDC to say the path we are on is wrong. So, for example, when I came into the NDC, I said to the guys, listen, stop attacking NNP and Keith Mitchell. Let's focus on what we need to do. And there was a group of people inside the NDC. The history will be told. Speak to the people within the leadership of the party and ask them, have you ever heard when I made this bid for leadership? What did I do seeking leadership? Nothing like that. Similarly with the NNP. With all of the cursing, calling me cancer, has anybody said what I did? All I did was when there was an announcement of a vacancy, I said I would like to put up my name. And I did it in the most respectful way I could think of. I wrote a letter to both the party and to the leader indicating my intention. I asked them to meet. I didn't hear much. I wrote another letter, asked them to meet again. And that was it. And then didn't hear anything except saying who is Peter to want to lead, because I didn't come from the balls. And I was, a cancer and all of that. And what did I do? I didn't stand and fight and curse anybody to this day. What did I do? I stood up one evening and I said, I've had enough. And I'm gone on my way. So for those who want to find things to say Peter fight for leadership, ask them when, where, and how. Evidence. I'm an attorney, and when you go to court, when you try to convict a man, you need evidence. So absolute nonsense. I mean, I think we should stop that. Let's talk about the issues. Let's talk about what we need to do to build the country. You wanted me out? I am out. Then just leave me alone now. You told me to leave. I have to come from the boss. I left. I am here. Leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do, because you said if I want to do this, I should go about my business. So no, it has said there is no evidence anywhere that I did that. And in fact, if I wanted leadership of the NDC, I could have played the game all along. I could have played the game, and Prime Minister Tillman Thomas will tell you that I said to him once, in front of everybody, if I wanted his job, he will be the first to know. I told him, that is why, with all of the issues, I have respect for Mr. Thomas, and Mr. Thomas has respect for me. There is no evidence that I did anything right. Of course, there was a small group of people within the NDC who didn't want me, and they expelled me. And I left. I've never cursed them. I've never abused them. I've never said any bad things about them. They expelled me, and I quietly went about my business. Okay. Similarly with the NNP, I quietly go about my business. And I'm doing what I feel is right for the country at the moment.
So there's another concern. Some folks are saying, okay, Peter is not much younger than Keith Mitchell, so why he wants leadership at this time?
Bernie Sanders is older than Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Yes, he's the most popular U.S. politician among young people. Of course, I'm not a young man. I don't intend to stay in politics beyond my time. But for as long as I have the ideas, it is not my age, it's my ideas. As long as I believe I can contribute. Are you saying to all old people, all people above 60 just disappear? I have a role to play. I may never become leader of a party. I may never become leader of the country. Does that mean that I don't have a contribution? Stop taking these petty issues and making them major issues. Listen to what I'm saying and tell me if I'm saying something wrong. Forget my age. Dr. Mitchell's age is, to me, I've never made it an issue, because if he can contribute, he contributes. Now, if people are fed up of my time and want to say don't come, then it's easy. We live in a democracy, and a democracy allows the old people. This idea now that we have to deal with the youth and forget the people who are experienced. We're paying a price for it now with the NDC, because one of the problems with the NDC is lack of experience. And what we need now is that generation of experienced people to come forward and contribute. So don't discard people who have years of experience. Are you going to say to a pilot, once he goes over 60 and he's the guy who knows how to navigate the skies, to just stop? No. He can be useful, and maybe it's retirement so that some young person can come in, but don't say to people, because you're a particular age, you have no contributions to make. If they don't want to vote for me, listen, it's a democratic process. If they don't want to hear me, don't listen. But I have a right, as a citizen who's been involved for the last 50 years, to make a contribution, and my age is not the issue. Listen to what I'm saying. Tell me if you disagree with it.
All right. So let me ask you this. Convention is gone. Resigned from the NNP. You've started a series of town hall meetings engaging with the people. What is the vibe are you getting? Are you, well, before the vibe, is the intent to form a new political movement in Grenada?
You know, there's this big debate taking place, and I love it because it's a debate that goes to the core of democracy, and which is what we need to have, that debate. And there's a debate about whether or not what people call a third party is viable. Whether or not, I don't call it a third, I call it a new party is viable. If you look at the history, the recent history of Grenada from the 1950s, the 1960s, 1970s, 80s, new parties have always emerged. Where did the NDC come from? Did the NDC just appear from the sky? No, the NDC came from within the NNP. Look at 1972 to 76. In 72 elections, it was GNP and GULP. By 1976, it was GULP versus an alliance which comprised the NGM, the UPP, and the GNP, because the GNP was in decline and NGM was on the rise. Bernard Court won his seat in the tongue, Maurice Bishop won, Northwestern Unison Whiteman, and others similarly. So there's always been new parties emerging. Now, what happens typically is that a new party emerges and an old party dies. So you end up eventually with two major parties. But there's always been emergence of new ideas and new forces. So today, for example, one may want to argue that one of the current parties is in decline, and therefore a space is emerging. Now, how will we know that? We will know that in due course. I believe that there are two conditions for a new entity to emerge. One, people are dissatisfied with the current political discourse. And I believe there is a significant amount of dissatisfaction with the current discourse. I've been reading over the last couple of days, people are fed up with this tribal war that keeps going on and on and on. So there are a substantial group of people who are saying, let's do something. We need something new to emerge. That is one condition, that there is dissatisfaction. And I believe there is dissatisfaction, and there's a possible demise of one of the parties. And secondly, that there's a group of people who want to lead that process, and the people want them to lead that process. If these two conditions exist, there can be an emergence. But we will know it in due course. We will know it in due course, because these things do not depend on any individual. It depends on the people. That is why you keep hearing me saying, we will know if those conditions exist for a new emergence of a new party, as happened with the NDC. Remember George Rizal and Francis Alexis and others? So NDC succeeded. Other parties didn't succeed. Patrick Antoine, Dr. Alexis and so on attempted. Those didn't succeed. But to suggest that all new entities fail, it is not true. Our history shows us. I'm going to look at 72 to 76. In 1972, the GULP beat the GNP, I think it was 13-2. GNP was in decline. GNP had won 1967. By 1976, the GNP had to enter into an alliance with the NGM and the UPP in order to contest, and that election was 9-6. I suspect if we had gone on to an election in 1981, it would have been between the NGM and the GULP, the GNP having entered into a steep decline. So let's read the history properly, and let's not just make comments. Third parties don't succeed. It's not true. Okay. You know, I went to a session on Sunday in the Anglican Church, and I was amazed at a piece of historical information that Leapers Hill, as we call it now, is in the wrong location. It should be over by where the Anglican Church is rather than where the Catholic Church is. I'm saying that sometimes we don't recognize our history, and those who don't understand the history are prone to repeat some of the worst parts of it.
Okay, folks, in case you're just joining us, speaking with MP for the town of St. George, the Honorable Peter David. We take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more in the conversation after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Choice Promotions in association with Investment Migration Agency of Grenada, together with our Riser Credit Union, presents the inaugural Virgin Parish Relay Meet. This is the real mini Olympics, Saturday, March 8th. Lassa Just Playing Field in St. David. Relay action featuring the top clubs and schools from across Grenada, competing for cash prizes and more. Come see the nation's best athletes as they prepare for Intercall and Carifta Games 2025. First call to action is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, featuring live entertainment and excitement in the tug-of-war competition. Admission $10 adults, $5 children. Come to Virgin Parish, St. David on Saturday, March 8th for the Virgin Parish Relay Meet. Come share in the excitement and speed and see you there.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wiring accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Attention Grenadians, get ready for an exciting weekend of empowerment and inspiration under the theme Accelerating a Transformed NDC. Delegates, party members, and special invitees will partake in the NDC Convention 2025, Sunday, March 2nd at the Happy Hill Secondary School. After the convention, everyone is invited to our sensational rally at the Bushes U playing field starting at 4 p.m. Be inspired by our distinguished guests. Hear from Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt of Dominica, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre of St. Lucia, and our very own political leader and Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, and more. Organize your transportation and walk with your flags, bandanas, drums, shells, whistles, and head down to Bushes U to be part of the transformation.
Cause I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. Speaking with MP for the town of St. George, Honorable Peter David. Peter, I want to ask you this. In your political career, you've been in senior positions in at least 3 political entities, the NJM, the NDC, the NNP. Yet for all, Grenada seems not to be progressing as we ought to. You had that hawk-eyed view. What would you say is the hindrance from Grenada's reaching its optimum?
Yeah, I agree with you. I've said this many times. There are some systemic problems. Systemic problems that arise from our inability to build on what other parties build. You know, one party comes into office. I remember the classic example is after the revolution. I was in Belmont at the time, and there was this big Cuban donated truck, nice truck. And because it was a Cuban donated truck, the morning of the invasion, some people who were angry revolted and threw it over in the water. You know, there was a truck that could help in our development. You remember the factory that was built to produce fruit juices. It was given to one of the prime ministers in the region. The point I'm making is, it happens that when one government does something and then we flip and they get another government, they don't build on what was already built. They tend to believe that because they criticize everything and they need to change course. I think that is the point I'm trying to make about coming together to agree on what we agree on, rather than have a national consensus about where we go. You know, we have, for example, a national plan, that 2030 national plan. I don't believe we've actually looked at it as a people, that we've come together as political parties and social groups and business and labor to discuss this national plan. You know, when I went to China, I went to an area in Beijing where they could show me what is being built in the next 10 years and what was there 40 years ago, and there's an agreement. This is where we're going. I think one of the major problems, so revolution came, invasion came, everything evolution did, invasion destroy. NNP come, what NNP does a whole heap of good things. What they come, you dismantle. NDC come, they dismantle what NNP did. If NNP comes back, they dismantle. In other words, we have not come together to agree on our course of development. What is the role of agriculture? What type of agriculture? What is the role of tourism? What is the role of CBI? NDC cursed CBI when NNP was in power. Now NDC is using CBI and boasting about how much income CBI is bringing after cursing it. So it's as if we just use everything as political footballs rather as national development objectives. And I think that has been a major hindrance, because being in all 3 parties, I know there are really good people in all of them who really are interested in the development of the country. But unfortunately, the tribal instincts that have been developed over the years with the British colonial system that we maintain and refuse to change. So, for example, the referendum. The referendum, the classic statement was made by one NDC former minister who said, yes, I agree with all the changes, but not under the LNP. Meaning, only if my tribe does it, I support it. If my tribe doesn't do it, I won't. If we can find a way, and I keep preaching it, and people will tire of hearing me saying it, that unless we find a way, innocent, to agree on what we agree on, of course there are things we're going to disagree on. So, for example, the NHI, I believe the NHI is critical for the healthcare development. I know we need new equipment, new hospitals, but I don't believe a big hospital is the answer to our healthcare issues. I think we need more community hospitals, more community clinics. We need to have more primary healthcare. We need to, in a sense, stop eating all that stew chicken. Yeah. You get diabetes, take your tablets. I was a friend of mine last time. He said, well, I feel my pressure yesterday, so I take my tablet. I said, take your tablets every day. That kind of thing, to have preventative health care, because the other, when it gets too bad, it's very expensive. So let us agree on these things rather than fighting. So you asked me the question, what is the problem? I think the problem is that we have not developed a national consensus about what our development means and how we pursue that development. And I am sure, based on my experience in all these parties, if we pull people together and say, leave your tribal colors outside the room, let's go inside the room and talk about a national development object, something I will die talking about and people will tire of hearing me saying it. I believe we could find a way to pull us together to agree. Because, so the government decides next week they're going to do X, Y, Z, NDC. NNP feels the instinct to disagree, even if it's something good. I remember when they were building the terminal in town, the new port. And I looked at the port and I said, Lord, that port succeeds. I'm dead in town. And my instinct was nearly to disagree with it. And then I said, no, it's good for the town. And it's being done by NNP. And if they get credit for it, so be it. But the instinct would be, no, let's don't build it. In fact, there were many people who would fight down that port like hell. And for good reason, some of them. I'm not saying everybody who disagrees with malice. But I'm saying sometimes it is based on simply the tribal instinct to disagree with everything NDC does for fear that they get credit and they win the next election. Listen, if NDC does a wonderful job and they do wonderful things and they transform this economy and they bring down cost of living and have good health care and develop agriculture, then it means they're doing a good job they need to do to get an next term. But if they're not doing a good job, and if healthcare is not improving and cost of living continues to go up and agriculture continues to decrease, then they're not doing a good job. And then there should be some changes in government. The point I'm making is, let's base it on what is good for the country. And I know some people will hear me, and I know there are people outside who listen and say, hear that traitor, hear that. No,
that ready, Guana.
I just want to let them know, none of that will deter me from the cause that I'm on. I will smile and I will do what I have to do. And one day, I will have a funeral where people will see what life I lived.
Right. Let me ask you this. In some of your town hall engagements, all right, they're televised. I mean, based on doctor's orders, I can't stay out late, so I usually watch it from TV. I'm seeing quite a number of people who I know were affiliated to the New National Party at your meetings. The one in Sates, it's evident. I can't be sued for it because I saw it, as a lady would say, I saw it with my own eyes. Right? I saw Bert Brathwaite there, I saw Clarice Childs, I saw Alistair Bain, and a number of others.
Clarice and Pamela Moses, you mean?
Yeah, Pam was there. Yeah, but yeah, Pamela.
Clarice was in one in town.
Yeah. Mommy Clarice, good morning. I call her mom. She's my mom. She's one of my moms. So I'm seeing that that set of people from the New National Party. And even some from the NDC as well.
I was just going to say that.
Some from the NDC. So what is that telling you?
Well, it's telling me that people are interested in hearing the message that we have to give. There were a couple of guys there from the NDC who I have known for decades. Dandy wouldn't mind me calling his name because it was live. People like Dandy and so on who continue to be in the NDC, but who know me. They know me. And they know, despite the fact that I'm not in the NDC, that I mean well, that I've tried to do my best to build the country. Mr. Cool stood up and made comments. He's NDC, but we remain friends. And I have remained friends with people in the NDC and people in the NNP, knowing that they do not or may not support me. But that is the same point I'm making, in a sense. They do not have to be in my tribe, or I do not have to be in their tribe for us to agree on Grenada, because there's one tribe in my view. That's Grenada. There's one tribe, and working people continue to allow politicians to divide them, and that, to me, is the saddest phenomenon I observed. That some people catching the hell, but they're still determined to follow that tribe and forget national development.
As Rootsman Kelly said in song, like balling with their mouth closed.
You understand? So I am saying to them, listen, you can stay in your tribe. I know I can't get rid of the tribes. But when we come to national development. Let us agree on the things we agree on. Let us agree that healthcare is important, and let us have a discussion on healthcare. Not an attacking discussion, but a discussion which says, my brother, I disagree with this issue that you're proceeding on. And they say, no, Peter, I disagree. And we sit in the room, those of us, and I want to say to our intellectuals and to our educated class, if you want to call them that, the professionals and so on, they have a role to play, because I know decent people are afraid. People who have a lot to lose are afraid to come into politics, but when that happens, there's a saying, for evil to triumph, it is sufficient for good men and women to do nothing. And I'm saying to them, if the country goes down, those who have a contribution to make and staying in the side and saying, boy, I know what we should do, but afraid. Do not be afraid. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of letting the world know that you stand for this and stand for that. No, stand for something. At the end of the day, history will judge where we stood. And I'm saying to that group of people who received their education because of the hard work of the Grenadian workers, farmers, businessmen, who are in that position because of the sacrifices made of our forefathers, foreparents, foremothers. They now have to come forward and contribute. And I'm saying it with passion because I believe. Because listen, I believe we could build a wonderful country. And this is my role. You may not like my role. You might want me to be a tribal leader. But I believe my role is to pull together those of us who believe in building a better society to do just that. And I believe that there are sufficient people. I've been having conversations with a whole lot of professionals, workers, farmers, businessmen, businesswomen, a whole lot of them. And they all want to see what we want to see. Some of them are afraid of politics. Because politics, you enter, like I say, I was here last year. I went here this year, and Jesus Christ, I moved from being a good guy to the devil. Simply because I changed my geographic location. And people don't understand.
One of the things that you keep saying is, with the engagements, I keep asking the question, are you going to form a new political party or entity or movement, whatever you choose to call it? And you are saying that the people will decide. If the people decides and eventually a new entity emerges, and you happen to be the leader of that entity, what would you do differently to what we have in present and in the recent past?
Well, first of all, let me say this, that I believe, based on what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling on the ground, it's the direction it's heading. That a new entity, call it movement, call it party, or call it what you will. Movement is I think the most dominant of the feedback we're getting. It's going to happen. That is my view. If I were to bet, if I was a betting man and I went to the casino and that was on the table, I would bet on that. And I said in the last meeting, if that is where we are going, I accept the challenge. No, I accept the challenge on the basis that what I said a few minutes ago, that other people come in. This is not about me. If who know me well know that it's hardly ever about me. I believe that it's a we thing. We have to deal with it. If that is where we decide, I am absolutely on board. And in fact, I'm prepared to take it as far as I can. I would lead as far as I can. God's willing and the people willing. So yes, I believe it's going in that direction. We will know shortly because we have a couple of more engagements to do, a couple of more discussions to have, and then that will be determined. With respect to what we do different, now I saw a guy on a Facebook thing the other day saying we will be eating food in two plates. No, I don't see it actually like that. I believe we can attract people who believe in what I believe in, what we believe in. The approach that we will have is an approach that puts people first, democracy first. You see, sometimes people get what they ask for. So they say, to be a leader, you have to be ruthless. To be a leader, you just have to do what you want to do regardless of what people are saying. I don't buy into that. You could be kind and gentle and be a leader. Ruthlessness comes with two sides. The ruthlessness that gets you there might come back and haunt the same people who are saying to you, you should be ruthless. And with respect to what we do different, we are going to try to rally the country around a national development objective. National, not tribal, not party. Now, it's difficult to do in the context of the political system that we have, in the context of the Westminster system that we have. So we may have to consider making changes so you root it in the communities. So, for example, in our political parties where we start, there should be more democracy in political parties. Political, I see in all of the political parties in NDC and NMP, I realize that the communities are not treated as the foundation of the party. I think sometimes of when you become prime minister. Sometimes prime ministers sit at the head of cabinet and we sit down there and we thank them for giving us a ministerial portfolio. And we forget it's we who made the prime minister by us coming together and say, you will be our leader. In other words, we reverse, we invert democracy. So I think that also ensuring that people understand their strength, understand that power begins there, but also put development as a primary objective, not just winning power. Sometimes you get parties just want to win. We want to win with a plan that is rooted among the people, and we will invite people from all parties. If we get there, all walks of life, the business community, the farmers, the workers, and that again, it is not just about the workers, it's about businessmen. Without businessmen, there are no workers. Without workers, there are no businessmen. The farmers, not much attention is being paid to agriculture at the moment. I think we need to focus on agriculture. Cost of living is hell high. We need to focus on agriculture to try to bring down the cost of food. I don't know if you've been to the supermarket recently. I go every week to shop for my household, and I can't imagine. I mean, I went in with $400 yesterday and came out with about $30 change and one little bag in my hand.
Yeah, no much have to flex.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me ask you this. We are going to open the lines momentarily because I would not get Peter back in a hurry because he's a busy man. So, Peter, we're going to take a few minutes and open the lines because there are some questions that I won't be able to ask you. The people want.
There's some questions I can't answer, but I'll try.
Right. But one of the things that you mention continuously through our discourse is the effect and affect of the Westminster style of politics and so forth that we have now. If by chance the movement or the party or whatever is formed and that movement or party is elected into office, do you see a constitutional reform process starting?
Well, I think that the constitutional reform is something that Dr. Alexis, I'm not saying we're going to change the entire system, but certainly there are things they need to do. For example, we need to consider whether or not we'll continue with our head of state being the King of England, or whether or not we'll make ourselves a commonwealth as in other countries.
What do you think? Do you think we should remain as the King of England?
No, absolutely not. I've said that publicly. I believe we should move away from that system. I believe our dignity requires us to do that. I think we should remove the Privy Council as the highest court of appeal for our nation. These are things that you need to do to get to real independence. I believe the democratic process we have is good, except that we may need to deepen it into the communities a little more, set up some structure within the communities. We need to entrench some of our rights and so on. So I think we need to have that conversation. And I know that both parties agree with that. Dr. Mitchell, to his credit, brought constitutional reform twice. I think it was rejected because it was the NLP who brought it. I think the NDC needs to consider it. So I'm not saying change the whole democratic process. I think we need to deepen democracy and make democracy work better for the people. Give the people more power to enhance their communities and build and more strength. So that I believe is something
we do have a call online. Like I said, we're gonna engage you can't be here and no engage with the people. Let's go to the phone. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, citizen.
Mr. David, greetings, Mr. David. Those two of so-called constitution reforms of 2016 and 2018. It wasn't so. They were farces. They were never designed to bring about any change in this here country. So don't give me that as if you believe that people in this country is stupid, Pete. No. As a matter of fact, recommendations were made by the people and the cabinet changed them. The cabinet, where does the cabinet of a country, the executive, get authority to change constitution? What's that? That was the greatest farce ever passed through the country, but let me tell you, to end up this quickly. I'm fully supportive of you, any effort that you make as a young man, quote unquote, in this here country, because you have all rights. You see, people challenge you because being jumping ships. How many ships here jump so far? 3 of them. And we can very well understand why the people feel that way. But that's their feeling. But that doesn't deprive you of the right if you feel that you have the energy, strength, the resources, and so on to put yourself up to form a movement. I'd rather a legion, a legion. I call it my sign, my way of thinking, the pro-patria emancipation legion. Why a legion? A group of honest and decent and progressive men and women destined to do good things for their country. Emancipation to free yourselves once and for all from the colonial mandate. Pro-patria, all for the fatherland stroke motherland. That's the direction we had to go. Go for it. You have my back, quote unquote. But there's so many things to talk about. This constitution, we have to get out of this. We have a way of doing that. The modern world knows what the constitution, the constituent assembly is all about. You speak and you use the word a couple of times. General consensus. Yes, let's go for consensus. But who designed? The people. The people, through the elected representatives in a constituent assembly, renovating the nation through discussion, debate, and all of that, so that they form a bond with the document that leads them, that creates a great contract between them both, the governed and the governors. Peter, there's a lot of debate to go. But anyway, I'm with you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, caller.
My brother John, I agree with you, and I always admire your tenacity in fighting for what you believe in. And I agree that what we're saying may come short of what you believe is necessary. But you know, in struggle, you have to start somewhere, and you have to start, in order to get any type of reform passed, you must find a consensus, because you need 2/3 majority. So you may not get everything you want. In a sense, you may not get everything you want, but we get enough to start the process and to let people know that we govern ourselves and we can make these changes. I think that's the first step. Quite frankly, I don't mind if the first step is a small step in order to make it known to our people that their power. So I agree with you. There's a lot we need to talk about. The debate you've been having, I would love to see us sit in a room and have this debate over a period of months, all aimed at, and I know me and you, we stand for the same thing, the development of this country and the independence of our nation.
Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller. Welcome. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Mr. Innocent, and good morning to Mr.
Yeah, you need to turn down whatever device you have in the background. You need to turn it down, please.
Peter David. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go right ahead, but you need to turn down the device that you're using.
David, this is the first time I've actually seen you or hearing you directly in any conversation since you have left. I've heard little snippets, but the first time I've seen you and heard you. So, hats up. But I totally wasn't satisfied with how you were treated, but I still feel that I want to ask you these 2 questions. One, what was your major reason for falling out with the NMP? Your major reason for falling out with the NMP. And secondly, are you prepared to form, because to me, you still have not answered that question that the gentleman asked you. Are you ready to form a political party? Forget about a movement and whatnot and what the people want. Are you prepared to form a political party where you will be the leader of the party? That's a straight question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me answer the second part. I'm prepared to lead a political party, but I'm not prepared to own a political party. That ownership resides with the people, and that is the point I'm trying to make, that some of the difficulties we have, and you may not understand me because we have this instinct to want somebody to own the party and become the owner and leader. I believe, yes, I'm prepared to be part of a party. I'm prepared to lead it for the period that I'm allowed to lead it, and I'm prepared to assist in any way in doing that. But at the end of the day, my dear friend, many people have tried to form political parties and failed because it was not rooted in the wishes of the people. So understand that. I know people want me to just say, yeah, form a party, go to the market, so jump up and say I have a party. That does not make a party. A party is successful when it comes from the people. So yes, I'm prepared to lead, I'm prepared to assist in its formation, but I call on all of our citizens who are as interested as I am to come forward. Don't sit back and say Peter is forming a party, because that is what leads us down a path where Peter then becomes of the view that he owns it because he is the one who built it. So yes, my answer to your question is yes. With respect to the reason for fallout, I did not fall out with the NMP. I did not fall out with the NMP. What happened was that I put up my name for leadership with a letter to the party, with a letter to the political leader. Henceforth, there were public attacks. I don't have to tell you about that. I don't have to tell the nation. There were public attacks where it was said that for me to lead, I have to come from the bowels of the party. I was attacked publicly in front of 900 people in a hall. Everybody saw it. And I was told that I'm a cancer in the party. And if you would want your daughter to be in a marriage where her husband says that she's a cancer in the relationship, then you can allow that. I will not be part of an arrangement. So I did not fall out. Some people use the word constructively dismissed, because I was told that there was no way for me to go, nowhere further for me to go in the party. If I wanted to do what I believed was right, I should leave. So don't blame me. Ask the question. Here's a question you should ask. Ask of the leadership of the NNP, what exactly, and don't go and get fancy phrases, exactly it was that Peter David did, that treatment was meted out to him that ultimately led to him having to depart the house. You ask that question and I'll be fine. Give me the answer. When I get the answer, get back to me.
All right. Have you consulted or reached out to, because there has been a spate of resignations from the NNP recently. Have you reached out to these people who have resigned from the NNP?
Yeah, in fact, some people believe we orchestrated it. These resignations are happening with people that some of them I don't even know are resigning. People are upset. And they are resigning because they were disenfranchised in the process of the convention. And the evidence is there. I don't want to go into that, because to me, that's history behind me. But maybe you should bring one of them on and ask them why they resigned. Interview them. Interview 5 or 10 of them. They feel, and listen, that is democracy, my dear brother Innocent. People are in a party, in a movement, in an arrangement, in a club, in a football club, in a tennis club, and they don't believe that they're treated properly. They are entitled to leave. Don't make it sound like an act of treachery. It is people exercising their democratic right to be a member or not to be a member. Nothing big in that. Nothing difficult in that. And these people believe they were treated badly, and they left.
Prior to your announcement that you're vying for leadership of the party, the NNP, were you ever of the opinion that you were treated badly?
I had an excellent relationship with the NNP. To this day, I continue to have an excellent relationship with the people of the party. When I put up my name for leadership, I didn't just do it. As I said, I wrote a letter. I met with the executive. I met with individuals. I went around and told all of them what I'm doing. I didn't go on any underground campaign. So there was no problems that I encountered. There were no people who were saying, Peter, don't do that. The leader said he was leaving, and I said, well, listen, I want an opportunity. I didn't say make me leader. I said, give me an opportunity, a fair opportunity to participate. And that is what I did. And I would love one person, at least, if they don't want to go public, at least call me and say, Peter, this is what you did wrong. This is what you shouldn't do. If you tell me, well, I heard what I shouldn't do, it was said publicly, I shouldn't put up my name for leadership because I didn't come from the bowels of the party. But you see, the problem is when I read the Constitution, I didn't see that clause. That clause which says that I can't put your name for leadership if it didn't come from the bowels. If I saw that clause, or somebody told me there was an unwritten clause or a silent clause, which means I had to be born inside of the party to go for leadership, I would have said, listen, man, I may not have even joined, but certainly I wouldn't have put up my name for leadership. But I felt I had paid my dues. Listen, in terms of my ministerial positions, I helped, and I don't like to say what I did, but I assisted a lot. I mean, several of these hotels you see built in St. David's and St. Patrick's, I played a pivotal role in getting them into the country. In CBI, I played a pivotal role. In agriculture, I did my best. In foreign affairs, I did my best for the country in establishing relations with several countries throughout the world. So if there was, I believe, personally, that I did my best, that I served the party well, that I won 2 elections with the NNP, and I was faithful to the mandate that I was given. Now, if any time along the way, any of my colleagues in the party felt I was going away from the mandate of the party, the best thing was for them to raise it with me. But nobody raised it. But listen, I don't want to go back there. That is history. I am out. They should be happy because you don't want to keep cancer within your body. So I've got out of that body politic. I'm on my own trying to go in a different direction. So I would like us to put all of that behind us. And those people in the NNP who know me, and this is the point, members of the NNP know me. They know me. Don't let somebody tell you about me. Everybody, I'm the most open book there is in Grenadian politics. They know my good and my bad. So that is what I come to you with. Naked.
Only yesterday I was in a conversation with someone and she was saying that Peter was engaged in unfair campaigning for the convention, in that you were paying people to vote for you in convention. Is there any truth to that?
When I pay people to vote for me in convention, I don't know who going to convention. That's just nonsense when people say I'm paying people to vote for me. I mean, really? I don't even credit that to the response. So you're paying a delegate and I don't know who the delegates are? I mean, absolute nonsense. And to tell them I'm not that rich anyway. It's about 400 delegates. I'm not. And you know what? And that is an insult to people. And this is what we do as politicians. We don't realize we do. We are insulting the delegates by suggesting to them that I could give them money to vote for me. They may take my money. You remember Soka Boka? Yeah. They might take my money. But they may, so it's just utter nonsense. And people who are saying that, the people who know me, people who know, and what saddens me, is that friends of mine, people who have been my friends for years, are saying that utter nonsense. And then I don't know how they sleep with themselves, but I sleep well every night.
Okay. Someone on WhatsApp says, good morning, Innocent. The questions I would like to ask Peter are, 1, is it true that there was a time when he was in NDC and was given a different portfolio and refused to go to the GG to be sworn in? 1. 2, how and why did he end up in NNP? And 3, what projects has he helped develop in the town of St. George, and especially since receiving an increased constituency allowance? Firstly, okay, so the order is it true that when...
Yeah, I got you. Yes. There was a time when I was moved from one portfolio, and not myself alone, there were a few of us, and we did not swear in because we did not like the method, but eventually we swore in. And again, that is democracy. I mean, to suggest that I do not have the right to hesitate in taking up a portfolio is to suggest that I do not have a brain. Yes, I did. The controversy was not made by me. But certainly I hesitated to do it because I know the circumstances, but I do not want to litigate that here. Everybody knows it. So for them to ask the question, they're just trying to raise an issue that has long gone. And I was in NDC up until I was expelled after that. The question should be, was I expelled? Yes, I was expelled. The NNP, how did I get into the NNP? Dr. Mitchell came to my house and asked me to join. It's as simple as that. Dr. Mitchell asked me to join, and eventually I joined. I mean, the circumstances that is between me and him.
Okay.
And I think he did a good thing asking me to join, and I think I did a good thing joining. I don't look back and curse anybody and say, listen, at the time, I thought that I could make a contribution. Having been expelled from the NDC, I thought I could make a contribution within the NNP. And what projects I did several projects in the town of St. George, but let me just tell them, I did several projects nationally too. 3 of the hotels being built, several other projects that I mentioned earlier in agriculture and so on, the land bank project, all of these projects. So then I don't want to spend the rest of the morning talking about projects in the town of St. George. Instrumental in getting the River Road project going. It's been there for years. We got it going. We got projects in housing, the road in Calata, in going through Dabo, other roads in Dabo. There's a whole lot that was done. I can, if the person wants to get my number 5345120, I can send them a list of the projects. You know, the lights going up on the playing field in Tantin, that wasn't done by this government. It was done before, but it's just being put up. So there are a number of things, like in the Queen's Park. There are a whole lot of things that I did. So if you want to find that out, give me a call. But all of a sudden, you know, these things are becoming issues. Yes, I have done some good, but I have not done nearly enough good. Because the truth is, none of us have done all we can do. And yes, you may criticize me. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do enough here, I didn't do enough there. I accept the criticism. But let's move on to try to do what we didn't do. I am not attacking NNP. I'm not attacking NDC. I'm saying I believe that we all can do better. All of us have come short and have come short of, you know, the end of that sentence.
Fallen short.
Absolutely. Yeah. All of us have fallen short. So, yes.
A concern that keeps coming up all the time is your apparent close affiliation with what is deemed some bad members in society, your affiliation to the Four Roads and the Carnage guys and so
forth. Well, those are my constituents, and God knows, if you speak to the parents of some of these youngsters, I'm glad you raised the point, if you speak to the parents, you know, there's some of them I tell, stay in jail for a little while till things cool out. Ask them, go speak to them. I talk to the parents, I counsel them, I work with them. Now remember, these are the sons of our parents and grandparents. They are in trouble. When people get in trouble, they seek help. They seek both legal advice and social advice, and I give both. We are part of our arrangement within the Bar Association to try to get these kids off the street. I counsel them day and night. I mean, you have to see me with them, cursing them, counseling them, begging them, but I feel for the parents, because these are kids. We as a society have created the environment in which this blossoms. We shouldn't be blaming these kids. These kids exist in an environment that we as the seniors have let fester. So yes, I'm not associated with them. I work with them. I am the member of parliament. And therefore, I have an obligation to help them get on the right path. There are parents in Dabo, in Mount Rush, on the Carnage, in Tantin, in Archibald Avenue, who come to me all the time and say, Peter, please help. Please help me with this boy or this girl who is in trouble. What do you want me to do? Wouldn't Christ help them? For the Christians who are listening, wouldn't he try to help them back onto the right path? Or you just say, no, you all go to jail? No, it doesn't work that way. And I'm sure people who criticize me for that, sometimes they come into my office and I watch them and say, yes, you didn't understand before. Now you understand that your son and your daughter can be as in that kind of trouble, and ultimately I will help. It's not a matter of keeping them out of jail. It's a matter of trying to get them back on the street and narrow. And people who know me know it's the role I play. And I don't think it's a bad role, actually.
The talk is good, but you have made bad judgments one after the other throughout your political life. Think about the country and move on.
Yes, bad judgments. You mean it was a bad judgment when I was expelled from the NDC when they went into a convention and expelled me without any cause? Bad judgments when I was told I can't lead a party that I was a member of for 12 years and won 2 elections. Which bad judgment are they exactly speaking of? That I shouldn't have joined the NNP? Well, if it's somebody who's NNP who's reason, then they should ask, why did you expel Peter? I want the people who have engaged in these activities to come straight, come honest. Speak to the people who went to SAS in 2012 on the morning with Pastor Stanford as the chair and expelled us without saying why. Let me know why. So the point I'm making, yes, they believe it's bad judgment, but you know what? I said, in all of that, I won 4 elections, 2 with the NMP, 2 with the NDC, and I will continue on my path. And I say they could come after me as much as they want. God's willing. I believe that if we stop all this tribalizing, talk about the issues that I raised. Don't come after me. Talk about the issues that I raised. Tell me you disagree with uniting the country. Tell me you disagree with a national development plan. Tell me you disagree with constitutional reform. Tell me you disagree with national health insurance. Tell me you disagree with empowering businessmen. Tell me you disagree with development of agriculture. Then we'll have a conversation. You want to come after me? Well, come with all the strength you have, but just know that I am fine and I will continue along this path. Because I believe it's a good path.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Pleasant good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Honorable Peter David, I think you should take the chance in opening a party. You're intelligent, the ideas that you come forward, they are your ideas. And if at all you agree with that, one thing I want you to promise me is to take on Citizen Rulu with you, and you'll be well guided. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Citizen Rolo has been a friend of mine, Jesus, for over 50 years, maybe 60 years. I knew him as a youngster. And Citizen Rolo has certainly has a contribution to make. And certainly, as I tell him all the time when we meet, I would like to sit with him in a room and have a solid discussion, because sometimes ideas come from people like Citizen Rolo that you'd be amazed with the help of
one thing I do know as it relates to Citizen Rolo, ever so often people call me and meet me on the street and, whoa, why are you entertaining Rolo like this and that, and he embarrass you. No, I've gotten so many great ideas from Rolo. My improvement in what I do on GBN here comes across because of
He's a good guy.
Citizen Rolo gave an idea as to how we could deal with this flooding thing in River Road. And I went home and I did some research, and he was right. Someone says here, good morning, Peter. I would like to know, if you had won the leadership of the NNP, what would have been different? You would have, what difference would you have brought to the party?
Well, I would have brought my style of politics into the party, certainly. My style of outreach, my style of focusing on national development. Every party, the leader does determine, to an extent, the trajectory of the party. But certainly, what I would want to deepen within the NNP is its democratic roots down to the base of the party. In other words, empower the people in the communities. Too many times in these political parties, and not only the NNP, it is felt that the party is being led by the top without any participation with the people in the communities. Actually, it is the people in the communities who should guide the process of party development. And I find that in Grenada, we do not develop the institutions of the party. The party only comes into play when it's time for elections. I notice now we're getting close to the elections, so NDC is ramping up its work. We need to organize the party, because political parties become vehicles and tools for success at elections, not organizations that really involve the people themselves. So, for example, training of young people within the party in leadership, working to get leadership from the base, sending them to train, sending them on scholarships. I remember when we were in NDC, I had made arrangements with the Cuban government to award 2 scholarships every year on the party-to-party relationship between the Communist Party of Cuba and Grenada. The same thing with China. We can work these arrangements. In other words, what I would have liked to see, and what was my particular excitement, was that of building the party and ensuring that the party is not only a vehicle that helps people get into cabinet, a party that takes care of its own, its welfare division, its education division, talk to people about the new ideas for development. These are the things that political parties should be engaged in, not just every 5 years you ramp up your base, you put the flags in their hand, and they say, put us back into government, put us back into the cabinet. The party must be a live entity throughout the entire period and take care of its own. Too many times you hear party members complaining, boy, when we get in government. No, the party should ensure, not by using government resources, the party itself can develop the business capacity of members of the party. In other words, the party should become an entity that is itself able to help its members get to better positions in life.
You warned me on coming in that you have to appear in court in Guelph for 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Right?
So we have a couple of minutes, but...
the final question I want
I know it's been final for a while, but go ahead.
No, when I catch a man like Peter, I got to stretch it, you know. The final question I want to ask you is there a party coming, and when? That's a, I mean,
yeah, it's the when. My mind is I focus on the when rather than yes. I believe there's a movement coming. There's an entity coming. There is something coming. I believe that. As I said to you earlier, if I'm betting on a table, I would bet on that. But as I said, there are certain preconditions. A party needs leaders, it needs people, and we are in the process of having discussions with a whole lot of people about that. And this is not for me to dodge the question. This is for me to be honest. And I mean honest. I could jump up and say, yeah, it's coming tomorrow. But no, it is being built, and you have to do these things patiently. And that is what's being done. The infrastructure has to be put in place, and you have to make sure that the people want it and that there are people prepared to lead it. The question as to when, that depends on when the conditions are there. I suspect it's going to be soon. But soon is relative. I suspect it's going to be maybe before the summer. By summer, I mean before Carnival. That's what I suspect. But I don't want anybody to call me on the day before Carnival and say, Peter, I thought you said, well, I said it, but there are certain things to be done. So I can tell you today I'm buying a car soon. I can't tell you what date, because I'm waiting for the bank to approve the loan. Right. So I'm waiting for the people to approve the project. I mean, I say the people, everybody who is involved. I, Peter David, will not be the owner of that party. I will not be the founder of that party. That party will be founded by people, and as I sit here today, I am not mandated to say things that I shouldn't say, except that we are in the process of developing that mechanism. And I know, as I said, innocent, I know I will become a target. I will walk with a serious target on my back by those who believe they have to tear me down in order for them to build up. But I believe that we can all build. Listen to me, I listen to you, we engage, we discuss, we agree, we disagree, we move on. But don't make me the devil, as some people are trying to make it out of. All of a sudden, I was an angel. I remember when I went to the place when was it Lafayette, where I was inducted into the NMP.
In Paraclete?
Paraclete.
Yeah, Paraclete.
Wonderful
School.
Words, great words from all of the NMP. An exciting day. And here I am now with some of the same people. The good thing for me is that the majority of the LNP people, they know me. And they know that I am not what some people are trying to make me out to be. But you know what, innocent? I don't care what they try to make me out to be. I believe that we should build this country, unite this country, and do as much as we can to ensure that our children have good education, our people have good health care, that we solve our transportation problems, that we get our farmers to be the kind of businessmen and businesswomen they could be, to get our hoteliers, our business people to become prosperous, to bring down cost of living. If we pull together, I am sure, and stop the tribal wars that we're so eager to ignite, if we do that, I believe we can build this country. And I want to say to Citizen Rollo, as we were speaking, I remember his contribution to building the international airport. Citizen Rollo, that is something I will never forget. This gentleman was instrumental and leader in building that international airport. And projects like that, if we can come together to build this country, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Is there a caller in mind yet?
A color? I see orange up and down the place. I'll just tell you why I see it. I said, I don't know. Seems to be the people's mind.
Okay.
So that's what I tell you about the people. If the people believe orange is a good color, who am I?
Yeah.
I'm the servant.
Honorable Peter David, thank you for joining us this morning, and we look forward to future engagements. It's my aim to... Now, this engagement this morning, I called it. Yeah. Right? And I really think, like you, it's time that the populace get to be more abreast with the things of nation building, the plans of the various political parties and movements. So I am going to engage the NNP, I'm going to engage the NDC, I'm going to engage the GULP, all the political parties, so that as much as possible people know the ideologies from the various parties, so that when that time comes and the bell is tolled, they can make an informed decision and say, hey, I think after I've heard all the arguments being put forward, this organization or that organization works best for me.
Exactly. Or we can take some ideas from this one, that one, and that one. We can find ways. You know, I always talk about bipartisanship. I see in the U.S. sometimes you have the Democrat and Republican caucusing and they agree on this and that and the other. What's best for the constituents? What's best for the country? So I agree with you. I think we have tried this very divisive approach, and it doesn't seem to be working for the people, because you flip the script at the next election and you end up with the same quantum of complaints. So yes, and I think that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do something new. We're reaching out to young people to do something new, not the same old, something new, because I believe we are at a historic juncture with something new, not just new party, new politics, a new politics, an inclusive politics, a path, the way to get people a path to development kind of politics, a we politics, and involve the people in the process. Because I think sometimes what has happened is that we treat the people as pawns. Every election you get to them, you ask them to vote, and then nothing after. Let us try to be inclusive, in a sense. I have dwelled with NMP people, NDC people, and let me tell you, they are fine people in all these organizations. There are people who care about this country. Let us care about the country more than we care about our colors. That's my view. And I know I'm going to be beat up on it, because there are people who love their tribe. And you could love your tribe, you could love the country too. You could love your party, or you could love your country too. And if your party is not doing something, and this is what I will end on, if something is being done that you believe is wrong, say it. Because I've seen too many times in our history when people said, I see something going wrong, know it is wrong. Don't say it because they don't want anybody to look at them a particular way. And when everything goes over the precipice, they say, shit, I don't know that, Well, if you knew that,
why didn't you stop it?
Why didn't you at least try it, as you say, attempt to stop it? And that's what I'm saying to people. Please, if you think it's wrong, say it's wrong. If you think it's good, say it's good. If you think I'm doing something wrong, tell me I'm doing something wrong. But just don't jump at me because I'm no longer a member of your tribe.
Thank you, Peter.
All the time, my brother.
All the best. Folks, that's it for the conversation. And if the good Lord permits, we'll have another conversation. And as promised, I will make all efforts to get representatives from the other political parties and organizations to come on board and share their ideas. We are sort of in the midway through an election cycle. And, so let's start hearing. Let's start hearing from the various parties and organizations. So I endeavor to do that. That has been the conversation this morning. Thank you very much. It's been extended. Thank you very much.